Hi everyone, it's Eric with Just Add Power, and in this video, we're looking at how to program RTI Integration Designer 9 to control a Just Add Power tiler. So let's look at where we're starting from. So we've already got a small system in place. So we've already got 4 sources and 4 just regular displays around the location. So we've got our Chromecast, Apple TV, Blu-ray player, and a gaming system, and we've got our 4 rooms going on. And these have already been programmed. If we look at the panel, we've got our matrix control already set up. We can switch those rooms and those sources. We can turn on and off stuff in that room as well. And now we're just looking to add a tiler to the rooms that we've got. So the way that we add a tiler to the system, we've already run AMP to set up the system, add a tiler to that system. And so let's look at our report file. Gives us the information that we need for where our tiler pieces are. So we've got our 4 tiling receivers. Those are the 4 windows. And then we've got our tiling transmitter, and that's how we pick the tiler to watch in one of the other rooms. So you have to think of tiler, it's not a room, it's just a source that you can view in a room, and then you can change what is on the 4 windows in the tiler. So first thing we got to do is we got to go over to our driver, we got to expand our size, we got to go to 5 inputs, with one of these being our tiler TX. And then we've got to go up to 8 outputs because we just added our 4 tiler receivers. And then we also need to do that to our endpoint driver as well, especially because it's going to be important to be able to control the tiler for layouts. Let's up our sockets to 16 because we've got 13 devices now. If we need to talk to them all at the same time, we're going to go down to our transmitters and our receivers, do the same exact thing we did on the switching. So they've got names. And all right, so now we've got everything identified. It's going to show up in the driver as we go through and program stuff. All right, so let's build that back out, move things around, and let's get to our panel. So from our home page, we've got our tiling control page. We jump down to tiling control, and there's really 2 things that we're doing with tiling control. The first thing is we're going to pick the layout, so how the 4 pictures are positioned on the TV. We've got a standard layout, which has things that are already pre-programmed. You don't have to do any math to figure out where things are. We've got 3 of those standard layouts, and then you have the ability to build custom layouts, which you can put the 4 pictures anywhere you want. A good example is a picture-in-picture, and we're going to look at how to build one of those. So that's the first part, is your layout. The second part is, how do I switch sources? So how do we decide which videos go on which window of the tiler? So if we're going to do this primary layout, which one's going to be the big blue one on the left? And that's the 2 parts of controlling the tiler. So we'll look at layouts first. So we want to build this quad layout. We want to make it so when the user presses this button, it's a big old invisible button sitting on top of this picture. We want the tiler to go into a quad layout where we'll see 1 picture in each corner. And I like to do tiling layouts not on the buttons themselves, because you might want to use this quad layout in a couple of different places. I like to do them as system macros, because then we can change it in one place and we just reference that macro. So we're going to add a system macro. We'll go ahead and add 4 at this point because we're doing 4 layouts. We do quad layout, and we'll do tiler primary left, primary top, and our picture-in-picture. So we'll start with the quad. So we've got our macro window. We're going to go down to driver command, and everything about layout control is going to be in the multi-TXRX comms driver, the one that loads like this. If we look at our submenus, you're going to see 3G tiling TX control. And because we're doing a standardized layout in this, we're going to do layout selection. Now, first thing we have to do is tell it which transmitter is the tiler. And in our system, it's transmitter 5. If you have multiple tilers in the system, just make sure you target the right one. And then because we've got our standard layout, quad view is the one that we want. So we do that, drag that over, and we're done. And it's that simple to do a standardized layout. We've done our quad view, the end. So let's go ahead and repeat that We'll copy that onto our other standards. So we'll look at primary left. Everything about this is the same. The only thing we need to do is change to primary left. Same thing here, primary top, just change to primary top. So now that we've got those layouts, let's go ahead and put them on the buttons. So we'll go to the first button, we'll go create macro. And we've already made this macro, so we got to find our system macro. And we've got our tiler quad. We put it right there. All right, and now that button puts us into quad mode. Do the same thing here. Actually, we can just kind of copy, paste macro, edit macro, and then we just change this from the tiler quad to the tiler primary left and the tiler primary top. All right, now we have our 3 buttons. Clicking here changes to quad, changing here primary left, changing here to primary top. So the standard layouts are the easy ones. So let's look at how to do a custom layout, a picture-in-picture. And we'll go back to our processor, we'll go to our macro, but we're gonna have a bunch of different functions we have to do because it's not as simple as just going, do this pre-built one. So we'll start with our driver command again. We'll go down to our tiling control. And then this actually needs to be a combination of a few things. So we're gonna start with video size and positioning. So the first thing we gotta do is say, how big do we want the windows to be and where do we want them to be? So we're gonna start with our TX5. And then we got to say, well, which of the 4 receivers in the tiler do I want to size? Because RTI limits you to 4 variables at a time. So in order to fit all of this in, because we've got 4 windows and lots of starting positions, we have to do it 1 window at a time. So primary video is going to be tiler RX1 most of the time. And so we're going to do primary video, and then we've got to get our starting position for the window in the top left corner, and then the width and the height, how wide and how tall it's going to be on the TV. So the tiler draws a 1080p picture when it's in a custom layout. So starting at the top left corner, which is 0, 0, going 1920 pixels wide and 1080 tall, what was printed here is this is just going to be a full screen picture. And that's actually what we want for our primary video because our picture-in-picture is going to be a large primary video with a little small one in the bottom right corner. So we're going to drag that over for the primary video. And then we've got to go to the little picture-in-picture. Now it's primary video +1, so it's the tiling receiver 2. Now to get this, you could do a bunch of math, you can figure it all out yourself, but I really recommend just going to our guide, going all the way down here to, let's just jump to our custom, and we want a bottom right corner. Now we could copy paste this as a full thing, but since we're doing it through RTI, we want channel 2, and we've got our horizontal and vertical position. So 1280 and 720, that's this top left corner of the little window. So we'll go 1280, 720, and then we want it to be 640 pixels wide and 360 pixels tall. So we do 640, 360. And so that's the little size of our picture in the bottom right corner. Drag that guy over. Now we've got to do one more thing before we're ready. And we have to say, well, I have 2 pictures and they overlap. But which one is going to be on top? Think of it like you're stacking pancakes. Which pancake's on top? We want the smaller one on top because if you put it underneath, you're not going to be able to see it. So we've got one more function we got to use. We're going to go down to our driver again, 3G tiling control. We're going to do video layering and transmitter 5. And then our layer is going to be the second one on top, then the first one underneath, and then 3 and 4 are in the back. Doesn't matter how big they are, we won't be able to see them anyway. So we drag that over, and we've got our custom macro. So we'll okay all that out. We'll put it actually on the button so it does something. Go to our macro, and picture-in-picture. Cool. And now we've got 3 buttons for layouts, and 1 button for custom layouts. Now the last thing we need to do is we need to do matrix control. Yeah, we've got the layouts, so we want to be able to decide what's going to go on them once we get it. Like if we do quad, which one's the light blue, which one's the dark blue, which source is it? You can do this just like we do single TVs. So think of the tiler as just 4 televisions within it. So we've got the 4 windows and we've got our 4 sources that we have as access for the tiler. So I like to do it as an input then output, or you can do out then in, depending on if you want them to pick the window first or if you want them to pick the source first. So we'll look at it from the source first option. So just like we're doing a regular switching, we're going to go input then output for all of these. Go to select input. We've got our Chromecast. Copy that. Paste it somewhere. There it is. Then we've got our Apple TV. Paste. And our Blu-ray player. Paste. And our gaming. Now, we don't have a source for the tiling because this is the source we want to watch on the tiler. We don't want the tiler to watch itself. You end up with a hall of mirrors kind of effect. So now we click these, we select a source, and then let's say, now that I've selected the source, set our output. So we're going to use this to set tiler 1. Copy that again, paste command, tiler 2. Paste tiler 3, and our last one, tiler 4. Eventually I'll learn how to do this quicker. All right, and then just to make our lives a little easier, we're going to go to our edit text where we can do variables, and what we're going to say is we're going to say current input name. We're going to go down and we're going to say, well, what's on the tiler 1? So we'll put that little text variable there. We'll do that on all of these so that when we do the switching, we've got an indication of actually what's on each one of these. And this won't show up here. It'll show up in the panel when we actually load the panel. We could do the same thing for layouts, but we need to do custom flags for layouts because there's no text to go along with the layouts. All right, 4th one, input name. All right, so now this will tell us which source each one of the windows is watching. The last thing we need to do is we need to make it so that we can watch the tiler in the rooms that we have. So we're going to go back to our matrix control. We're going to stick here on the right side. So we've got our Chromecast, Apple TV, little C shows they're already programmed, but we want to be able to select the tiler in the master bedroom and the living room. So we're going to go to our properties. We're doing our input then output. Oh, wrong driver. We're going to select our tiling input. So I'm going to hit that button. It's going to say tiler selected. What do you want to do with it? And then we've already got it to where this says whatever input is selected, send it to the living room. So now we can watch the tiler in either the master bedroom or the living room. And then once we do that, we can go over to layout control and modify it. So let's actually go ahead and change this to jump us to the tiling layout control when we set it. So it'll change and then we'll immediately get a window to be able to change it. So let's upload to the processor and see what happens. So we've already pushed that. Let's pull up our panel and see what we got. So first thing we got to do is we have to switch one of the rooms to watch the tiler. So we'll select our tiler, shown selected, and then we'll set that in the master bedroom. And we've changed over. I kind of made it so that you can't tell it changed over, but you'll just have to trust me. And then we've got our layouts. We've got our primary left layout. We've got our change. Got our primary top layout. There we go. And we got our quad layout. Back to the quad. And then we do our picture-in-picture layout. And then we want to set what's on it. So we're going to do select input 1. And we're going to say that's going to the tiler. Input 2, tiler 2. Input 3, tiler 3. Input 4, tiler 4. So we've got 4 different sources on our 4 different pictures. And now that everything works, all we got to do is jazz it up for our end user, and you're good to go. So that's setting up a tiler with Just Add Power through RTI Integration Designer 9. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at support. And thanks for watching.